guys, welcome to Raja Makes Money. How are all my money makers doing today? And what a crazy day today was. GameStop up, and then it just tanked like no other. I've never seen a stock drop so fast. Well, actually, I have. I've seen GameStop drop this fast a lot. So, but you know what, guys? We lost money today, but actually, it's going to sound funny. It's going to sound weird. It actually is doing what we need it to do. And I'll explain it to you guys. I'll show you. I'm not worried. It's going in the right direction. But, you know, I think some of this is a little market makers are playing with us a little bit, but that's okay. We need GameStop at $151 on Friday. We don't need it there tomorrow. We don't need it there today. And we need these premiums to come out of these options. So it was actually pretty interesting today. At one point today, I was up about 100 grand. Then, it was very interesting as the stock was going up. I mean, I've never seen manipulation in options as much as I've seen in the GameStop. But that's okay. I know how to play it. I know what to do, and we will be just fine doing it. So lots of stuff to chat about today, and I'm going to show you guys what we did very carefully. So because Kenny on the research team, he wants to make sure everybody understands it as well as him. I'm going to explain to Kenny what we're doing today on the research team so he fully gets it, because I know you guys have so many questions for him about what we're doing and how it works, and I'm going to show you right now. So here we are. The only stock we got out of today was Largo Resources, now that it was able to trade. Actually, it was up. I sold it earlier and went up a little bit. So that's reverse has paid off for them, and now that it's able to trade. Gold Rich Mining was down today. CTIX down a little bit today. But obviously the main stock is IDEX in our account. This is the one for Friday. This coming Friday, these expire. So this hedge is paid off for us. If everything works out, well, I want it above 350 and be out of it. If it's not, we would have the option of then just selling it, being done with it, or writing 1,800 more contracts. But unfortunately, we'd have to go out for another month. So it's very confusing there. But let's talk about GameStop. So where did I screw up on GameStop today? So I did screw up. Remember I had those 300 other contracts to short. So when I hedged them and I wrote them, GameStop was actually up. It was up about 20 points early this morning, and then it tanked and, did what I expected it to do. I guess all those people who got stimulus ran off, bought GameStop. All my astronauts, they just bought it like nuts and then realized nobody else was buying it. And then they all, I guess, panicked and sold. I have no clue. Obviously, where are all those people in the chat today? So, but I sold this contract around, I think, $4. And unfortunately, then when GameStop did tank, this contract tanked with it. So let me explain what we have going on here. So the good news is these contracts, and this is also very interesting. Notice today the fluctuation in prices on these contracts, and notice the fluctuation in price on this contract. So normally, if a stock would drop 50 points, you would think this price would be up $3 or $4, which we actually would have made money today. No, for some reason, I don't know why, I've never seen anything like this where this doesn't really move much. Well, I mean, it moved 2 points, but on a $50 drop or $44 drop, that is very low. Here on the these, moved a lot. Now, this is where this gets very interesting and very tricky. I could lose if GameStop goes below $150. I could lose a lot of money. The good news is, and the reason Raja did this and the way I did it was because GameStop next week has earnings on Tuesday. I have to check. I'm not sure if it's before the market or after the market, but that makes it very volatile. And going into next week, the premiums for next week are through the roof. So I know I have a backup hedge for some reason if GameStop does drop too much. Also, if GameStop drops 60 more points down to about $150, hypothetically, if everything was correct and this market maker wakes up, these will probably be about $22. So these will actually have a lot of premium in them. So it's a lot of moving parts here going on. The 105s I'm not really worried about because, what I sold them for and the spreads and everything would be through the roof. So these two are the ones we have to watch. So a couple of scenarios. If GameStop goes up tomorrow, if GameStop goes up tomorrow, these three are going to come down a lot faster and a lot more than this one. This one If GameStop goes up 30 points tomorrow, this will probably drop 2 points. If GameStop goes up 30 points tomorrow, this will drop 4 points. This will drop 3 points. This will drop $1. So you can see where tomorrow, if GameStop goes up a lot, it's going to do really well. Now, let's say tomorrow GameStop goes down 10 more points. If GameStop goes down tomorrow 10 or 20 points to, let's say, around $200, these are going to probably be about, these are going to all drop. This will drop a little bit, but these will probably drop because we have that intrinsic value. So remember what I was telling you guys. So every day, money comes off of these option plays as the stock comes down. So it's kind of very complicated, and we can run through some different models, and I'll show you guys some different stuff. The only might be a question is, where are those 500,000, the 1,000 plus astronauts yesterday who told me I didn't know what I'm doing, and GameStop's the best stock out there. It's going to $800. It's going to the moon. Where are my astronauts at? Somebody page my astronauts. But let me show you guys. So here's the trades we made today. So we sold Largo, and then we sold those 300 contracts at $4.10. If I didn't sell these contracts, we would have had an update. If I waited to sell these contracts, we could have made a lot more money, or we could have sold a lower strike price, which would have been better. Dow futures are down looking for tomorrow. Markets had record days today. After hours, GameStop's up a little bit, not much. It was actually right after the market closed. GameStop went down to about 210. Right now it's about 223. I honestly, my perfect scenario for tomorrow is I really don't want GameStop below 200 tomorrow, and I don't need it to go up any. That doesn't help me. I'd rather keep it where it is and keep coming down. But I would love to see I don't want GameStop to drop, because this is one, like I said, if this thing drops too fast, this thing will get out of. It can also make a lot of moves, and we have to do a lot more hedging and stuff like that. Bitcoin today looking not too good. It was as high as about almost 62,000 yesterday and dropped quite a bit today. I don't know if this is from the news with India and different stuff like that. One of the hot stocks from the research team that we had played before was AABB, Asia Broadband. They have their blockchain or Bitcoin thing going, or coin thing going. So this one was up today, really good, 65%. And just to recap from Kenny and the research team, let me recap a couple of stocks for you guys. He had almost like 12 out of 15 winners today. So if you guys are Patreon members, I saw somebody mention about Patreon or a pending thing. If you have a pending thing in the Patreon group, write to us and we will help get you added to the private Facebook group. But if you follow the directions and use the password in there, we should be able to get you added. It's pretty simple to do. And I didn't show anything pending. I had Brian at Denver check. We didn't see anything pending. So just follow the directions. Very easy. We'll get you added. And that's a big thing with our Patreon members. So you guys get access to my trades in real time as I make them. That's right. As I make these trades, you guys get notified about them in real time. So works great. You want to make sure you take advantage of it. I'm not playing a lot of the OTC and some of the small cap stuff right now because I'm more focused on my option playing. But Kenny on the research team are still doing them and putting out some great trades. A couple of these were the winners today: HPNN, UAMM, NSAV, LGHL, RSPI, NIHK, EEENF, ZKIN, ILUS, IMTL, SFOR, IPSI. Maybe Kenny or Sanders or somebody could just post that list of them in the chat, so everybody, if you guys do want to check them out, you guys can. A couple of others. The only two that didn't do too good, MNVN was flat today. He said MSTO did not make a run as he thought it would. And CERPQ was up and then dipped a little bit. So congratulations to Kenny and the research team. Some great picks today and looking really good. So, all right. So now let's go. I'm going to go over some models with you because this is going to get confusing. So we got a question. Would you guys rather me take some questions first? I see some questions in the chat. Or would you rather me show you and explain what I'm looking at and why even being down $150,000 today doesn't faze me at all? And like I said, it's going where I want it to go, and it's still way above where I need it at the 150 strike. But it's just between market manipulation and how options work, and also next week when the volatility hits in, it's going to be crazy with this stuff. So, all right. So let me show you some stuff. Also, big shout out to Rosalie Richter in the house. This is a stock channel, not the weather channel. That's my mother. So if you'd like to join a weather channel chat, I'm sure we have lots of them, but let's stick to stocks today. Okay, Mom? I'm just kidding. But, all right. So what do you guys want? How much snow did you get? We got 2 feet of snow. It's the 4th worst snowstorm ever. So we actually, if you guys checked out my Snapchat, I had some stuff. Oh, some fun facts. So I got the self-driving car Friday, which I said was amazing. We were able to use it Friday. Obviously, I can't self-drive today in the blizzard. Yesterday, my buddy with a plow came to the house to help and broke his plow on the way over and got stuck. Michael got stuck in the snow. But not to fear, I got the snowblower working finally, and it's doing really good. So, Doug A., Raja Does Weather. That's right. Your new weather guy right here. It's going to be my new channel, Raja Does Weather. So, Richard says, mine is looking better and better. Haven't looked at that one in a while. So, all right. JJ says, explain your positions. All right, let's do that, because I think this is the most important part of all this. And let me explain everything. So this is going to get a little complicated, and ask all the questions you want. I'm going to have to open up, we're going to do the chains. So I'm going to open up 2 chains. Wait, that's a group, I think. 2 chains. So, all right. So we're going to do, here's a chain on GameStop. We'll open up a chain over on this one to explain to you the volatility and everything going on, and how we're hedging it, and why I'm not really worried. If GameStop drops 50 points tomorrow, I will be worried. I will be excited and worried, because I'll be excited because our play, and obviously the short, it's doing what we figured it would do, but the hedge comes into play and does cause, some grief. Makes it more exciting for me than just something easy. If GameStop just goes down 20 points a day for 5 days this week, it would have been really easy. Now that it's already gone down 40 points, I need it to come down maybe 10 points, 15 points a day for the next 4 days. So, all right, I've got my screens up. Let me show you what we got going on here. So we'll have to do on this one, we will do all, and then we'll come to this one, and we're going to go to next week, and we're going to do all. So when you're hedging stocks, this is the kind of stuff you want to look at. So we're hedging the 100s to 150s. So we'll pull those up down here for you. There you go. And this week, and here we are this week and everything we have. So right now we're hedging the 150, and as you can see, the strike price or the mid on that is 11.10, or the mid is about probably last 11.60. Hold on, so something looks off on that. Oh yeah, no, excuse me, that's correct. I was thinking of our position. So we own the 100 puts. So the Raja owns. You know what? I need to open one more screen here for you guys. Hold on a second. Let's do one more. New tab. This one, I'm going to show you what we have currently. So, because like I said, this is going to get a little bit confusing. Sometimes it gets confusing even for me when I'm trying to map it out and what I'm trying to do. And this is called a calendar spread. So basically, we're buying something out a couple of weeks on the calendar, and we're selling something earlier. So it's the spread. It's called a calendar spread. So all right. So we have So we have this week's right here. So we can look at these. So we have like that 150 I was telling you about, and that is 1110 by 1175. Now, if we go out to 2 weeks from now, this is here, 11 days, and you look at the 150, look how pricey that one is now. The 150 here is now $25. So this is very interesting. Let's say I think GameStop's gonna, miss earnings next week or do great, and it's gonna be above 150. I could sell the 150 right now at $25. I could actually come all the way down. So we're into these 120s. So for if I wanted to hedge early next week, the 100s, which would just matches up where we are, and we would basically break even, would be $10. But that would be, it would be crazy to do it so early because the volatility. So take the volatility that is in GameStop right now because of it moving so much, and then you go out to next week. It's going to be crazy. So, all right. So when you look at this, WH says it's a long diagonal put spread, not a calendar spread because the strikes are. So yes, correct. And yes, so I always just say calendar spread, but yeah, when you have different when you're not just matching them up perfectly. It is a diagonal put spread. But I just always say calendar spread. So, but thank you, WH, for correcting that. All right, so now we come out and we go to this one here. So this is where we are. So you have a couple of things going on. So one, I could even write strikes against my expiration week. If I see GameStop and it looks like it's way up there and I have the 100s, I could say, you know what? These are going to expire worthless, or like right now, these are $13, right? I could say GameStop's $300 and it's getting stronger and stronger. I could say, oh my God, I'm going to lose my shirt. Let me write the 150s for $32. And I pick up $32 and I throw away my $11 one and I still make $20 a contract, $2 million. So there's so many ways to play this. Obviously, the biggest thing, and like I said, this gets very confusing is how do you play it? So we're playing right now the 150s. It's $11.60 last one. So we're playing the 150s, $11.60. If I was to close that position out, I would pay $11.60 right now. Or as long as it doesn't go below 140 or 139, that's the same as the $11. So basically, GameStop's sitting at 220, and we're playing the 150. And if you took that $11 at 140, so we basically have $80 for this thing to drop before it becomes a problem. If it drops, then it becomes a problem. So if it drops below 140, that would become a problem. It's not a huge problem because then, as you can see, we would go out to the next week. And just like what we've discussed with Apple, this week, like the 125s or 2 weeks from now are $25. So no matter what, even if this thing came to $100 and we're upside down by $40 a contract, we would still go out another week and pick up 10 or 15, or we would come down in price. So for example, this is the 150 right now is $11, right? And we have a $50 spread on 500 contracts. So I have 50,000 shares of stock at $50 a share difference. That's $2.5 million. That's why when we look at our thing, it says I put up $2.5 million to make this play. If I didn't make this play, I would only be able to sell the 100s, and the 100s, like for this week, are $2 or $3 now. So I would only get $3 a contract. So I'm making a lot more money on my hedge by selling something that's worth a lot more money. But like I said, you have that risk. So let's say we wanted to lower that risk, kind of like on Apple, where I've showed you guys where you can roll it out, you can roll up, you can roll down, and you can take some of the profit off the table. So right now this is $11. Let's say I start panicking, or I say, oh my God, this GameStop's tanking too fast. We can come all the way down and write for the same $11, the 107 for next week. So what does that mean? It means I would make no money this week on GameStop on the hedge, but I would also reduce my risk to $7. And if I sell it for $11 and I'm doing the hundreds, hypothetically, I'm $4 ahead. So this gets a little confusing, but this is what I'm looking at when I'm modeling these different scenarios. So I hope I'm explaining this well, so that you fully understand it. But this is how it all works. So I could roll down to next week, and I know that the volatility next week is going to be through the roof because of the earnings. I don't know where the stock will be next week. Like I said, I would love this stock. If this stock is 151 on Friday, and all of my hedges, I make $600,000-700,000, and my $100 options are $15-16. I may just play it, close it, and say, you know what, I made $1 million on this trade in 2 weeks, and I'm done with it. Or I may say, you know what, let's gamble on these earnings, or let's sell the 100. You can also go and sell something negative. So let's say for next Friday, I have the 100s, and the 100s right now for next, this would be a week and a half from now, or 9 trading days from now, are $10. I don't have to sell those. I can own the 100s, and I can say, you know what, I want to hedge my bet. I'm going to sell for next week the 75s for $4. So I have 1,100 contracts. I can pick up $400,000. My current option contract, which is the 100s, is $14 today. This is here if we come all the way out here, or like $14.30. I sell those other ones for $4. This thing drops to $50. this 100, that's 14 right now, would be $25. So if you took the 16 bucks we paid, this $7-8 we've already got back on it from these hedges, and the spread, that would make $2 million for me. And I could pick up this other, $6 because I say, screw it, let's sell this or sell this week. So there's so many different ways to play this. You just have to really, like I said, you have to really model these scenarios. And you know what? And the more I think about this and talk about this, is I need to get like a board so I can start writing stuff down and kind of map it out a little bit better, because it's kind of confusing looking at all these. But yeah, I definitely. So like I said, it's very complicated. I mean, it's not complicated when it's just complicated looking at the math. And I'm looking at the hedge. So how do I hedge my bet to make sure I don't lose, the full, 1.7 million? How do I hedge and get money back every week? And how do I do and make some money every week off of this? And also, like I said, you got so many moving parts. Like I said, our best case scenario is GameStop is $151 on Friday. Our 100 puts are, $18. We could close them, made our money. We made a $1 million on this play, or then we write, for next week with earnings. We like I said, we could come down next week and write, the 80s. Right now they're $5. If GameStop comes to $150, these 80s may be $12 or something crazy. So there's so many different ways to play this. Unfortunately, until Friday, we really don't know the best way to play it. So very confusing, but hopefully that makes sense why we lost money today. So, the main reason today that we were down is because, the market makers pretty much just screwed us. And they said, they just move these stocks around where they want. I've never really seen a stock that goes down, 40 points, 44 points, and the option only moves $2.10. That's ridiculous. This contract on a 40-point drop minimum, based on the charts and everything I was mapping out, and also from watching it last week pretty closely, trying to learn, because one of the things before I jump into these things, I like to watch them and see how they play and how they move. A 44-point drop should have moved this 4 points today. We actually should have had an updated day. This should have been up. This contract should be about $15 right now with a 44-point drop. There's no way that the volatility was over $3 and $4 in a contract that expires in 4 days versus a contract that expires in 20 days. Something is just totally out of whack here with this market maker. But it is what it is. I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining to you why it turned negative today. Because like I said, hypothetically, I'd hate for this thing to drop 4 more points and this only go up $2 more, and this go up $4, we'll have another $200,000 negative day. Like I said, at the end of the day, none of it really matters until Friday at $150, at option expiration. So obviously GameStop's losing steam. This is why, look at the volume. Today's volume, 24 million. It used to average 50 million. The volume is dropping on this thing pretty heavy. GameStop is losing momentum. Of course, as you notice in the chat today, all our astronauts, they're not here. They must be off to the moon, even though the moon flight got canceled today for them. I don't know where they are. It's kind of sad that they had so much to say, so many not so nice things, but today they are all silent. It's such a shame. And tomorrow GameStop will be up $4 and they will all be back here. Told you, Raja, it's going to the moon. So, all right, what do we got here? CTRM, what's driving the volume in the order book, and barcoding on the 1-minute charts. Is this good or bad for the stock? People like barcoding because it's just going up and down. So barcoding is really good for trading. We used to trade Castor Maritime. But yeah, this could be a market maker just flipping this thing all day long. 101 and 106. Where did it close at? 103. If this was my guess, what it does before hours and after hours, that's usually not market makers flipping the stock. But it's really hard to say on this one what it is. As long as the stock keeps going up, which it has from where we are, and it's off its peaks, it's good. But that one definitely, play. Mr. Schwartz is back with Zom. Zom had a update today. It's had up days, good days, bad days. But Jeff Schwartz says, get some Zom. It will be above $3 soon. CCIB returning to the 30s. Wall cracked at 30. And of course, as you guys know, Jeff Schwartz also gave us the Jaguar pick when it was $3.80. Yeah, let's take a look at how Jag did today. Oops, GX. That's why we have a Jeff Schwartz emoji for all my YouTube sponsors. And big shout out to all the YouTube sponsors in the house. I see Marjorie, Woofs, and a couple others. Thank you guys for being YouTube sponsors and having access to those emojis. Jaguar Health up 8 cents today. Nowhere near. Let's look at that 6-month chart on it. I don't know what happened here. Nowhere near that. But they did have some news out today. Jeff, in confidence, told me that the reason there's issues is because it's a deal being done in Italy, and Italy is still on lockdowns. So that's causing issues. So that's why I have a Jeff Schwartz emoji with dollar signs, and I have a Jeff Schwartz lemon. So you guys choose which emoji to showcase today. But no, just have a little fun. Also, yeah, SNDL is making great moves today. That was up. We've played all these. It's interesting. Like I said, I'm not sad for the OTC ones that we're not in any longer. And I hope all of you guys, especially all my money makers and stuff, do great. And Kenny's been picking some great ones. Better Call Kenny made great calls today. Green, orange. So yeah, I mean, Kenny hit big today, like 12 out of 15. 2 were flat and 1 down. So I mean, to have 12 winners, that's pretty incredible. So big shout out to Kenny and the money makers and our Patreon group. And all of you guys can join our Patreon group. Just go to patreon.com, Raja Makes Money, and you get access. You get my trades in real time. And remember, it's for entertainment purposes only. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing. And also, you guys get added to our private Facebook group. Just follow the directions and we'll get you in there. Jeff Schwartz, I'm going to get the last laugh on Jaguar. Going to make lemonade. I hope you make ice. I hope you make milkshakes, ice cream, make whatever you want. I hope you laugh so hard. As Jeff knows, I have 180,000 shares of Jaguar at $3.80 average, or $3.60. I don't know, somewhere in there between all my accounts. So I am rooting for Jaguar more than anyone because at $4, I have about $225,000 back on it. So very excited to see that one do good. What do you guys got for me? Any questions today? We got, how'd you guys all do in the market? Looks like for tomorrow, unfortunately, it looks like the market's already pointing red. Hopefully that changes. But I think the market's going to need to take a breather. Airline stocks are doing well today. Those opening stocks definitely be interesting. It's going to be interesting with the airlines. They're moving. Let's look at how's it's like Southwest today. Still here. Or love this right now. Up today a little bit. Let's see, UAL. I think the local airlines like Southwest, JetBlue, Spirit, or Sprint, whatever they are, Frontier. I think they have the best opportunity to come back the fastest with the reopening trades. I still think international travel is going to be a lot of problems. So Shane says GameStop $60 tomorrow. Please, I don't want GameStop $60 tomorrow. I don't want GameStop below 151 this week. If it happens, we'll work around it, but we don't need it around 161. Whoops, AAB was great. Apple was up a little today. Apple's making a comeback. It's definitely everything's coming back good in the market and stuff and getting stabilized. But like I said, I like this GameStop play. I like it with earnings next week. This is going to be, you know what? I like to gamble. I like to have some fun. This is going to be the gamble. This is going to be some fun. But if I hit, I'm going to hit big on this. I wrote some in my other accounts. I've been running some CCIV options. I've been playing the 25.5s for 60 cents today. Selling the puts to open for next week. I think they're in good shape. CCIVs come back a lot. But I'm also, I don't know how much higher CCIV is going to go. I think it could just be creeping up on some rumors. Maybe they're going to make the deal official, but it still has a long ways to go before it's completely done. They get the pipe done, and you got to remember, it's still not worth a $60 yet. I think it's going to be worth and have some great value in the future, but it doesn't have that great value today yet. So, all right, Marty says, hoping for a tech sell-off, get a position on Apple and Amazon. So you're looking to buy, or you're shorting them, Marty? What are you doing them? What are your thoughts on AONE? Honestly, I have no thoughts on it. I've never even heard of it. One, the Capital One, or was it one AONE? I honestly don't know anything about this. So This would be a great question for Kenny and the research team. So we'll definitely have that. What else? For tanked up threads. For puts and calls, do you recommend plays for small account holders, only 1 month in, but loving playing in the market? So, puts and calls are higher risk and different stuff like that. But you can play stuff that's smaller. Like we're doing IDEX, for example. You could, if you want to play around with it and kind of get your feet wet with a smaller account, you could write one contract on like the $3.50 put for, 18 cents or 25 cents. Not even, let me look up because we own it. I'll pull it up here real quick. So here's for an example. So IDEX, this put here is 15 cents for the 350. So if you wanted to, get into it, this would be one that's cheap. One contract on a $3.50 stock is $350. There's some other ones that are even cheaper that you can write puts on. Like Phil loves Genius, GNUS. It's around like $2.20. That one's optionable. You could, buy one contract on that one or do some stuff. Here's the thing is with the options and the contracts, and why I like them is you used to be able to use them and leverage a lot of stuff. Now that Schwab and all the other firms have changed their margin requirements, you don't have the leverage that you used to have. So it's definitely making it a lot tougher to make a lot of money with that stuff. So WH, higher profit potential, but much higher risks with the GME short leg strikes, higher than the long leg strike. Hope GME stays above 150 for you. Thank you, WH. I sure hope so too. But like I said, no matter what, even if it does go down, there's plenty of ways to hedge it. And that's the whole nice thing about earnings week is those premiums. So we may not wind up with a big profit on this deal, but at least we won't really lose any money because the premiums are always going to be better going into earnings week and with the volatility, unless GameStop, is all of a sudden like $10, or something insane. I hope there's some support. I hope all these astronauts that we had for the last 2 days on Friday and Sunday that magically forgot to come today to, tell me how great GameStop was and how stimulus money was going to rocket it today, along with Bitcoin today, and how everything, was related to stimulus and their, Wall Street bets. It is kind of sad that some people have such a big opinion on things, but when something goes down, they don't. And that's why I always say to them, I say, and if you guys ever read my comments, I say, well, what's your facts? What is, where do you get this information? Why do you think GameStop's going to $800? Why, we had the one guy in the chat Sunday and, he was a nice guy and I thought he had some valid points, but a lot of that stuff doesn't make any sense. One example was, what if, they put GameStop's inside Best Buy? Well, Best Buy already sells video games. They don't need a GameStop. I look at this one and Kenny told me this today on the research team. And this is probably, in all my years of working with Kenny, over 20 years now, almost, or somewhere around 20 years, this is probably the best thing Kenny ever told me. You know what you can compare GameStop to? I want in the chat right now. What do you think you should? What company, if we want to talk about GameStop and the turnaround, the big online play, and bringing in the big guns, or some hotshot name, what company would you compare GameStop to? What company? I want to know what company. Hold on. Wally says, well, while you guys in the chat are naming some companies, and if you're on Facebook, make sure you follow me. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel. We just broke 8,100 subscribers on YouTube. And there you guys go. You guys all got it right. Shane. That's right, guys. Blockbuster. That's right. Shane got it. Wow, you guys are pretty good. This whole time I thought Kenny was a genius. That's very good. Now this thing is Blockbuster all over. Blockbuster 2.0. Carla, it's not Kmart. I loved Kmart. Remember those orange cherry slushies? What are they called? The icy white cherries. Those were the best. Funny story. Does anybody in the chat know why Kmart, why they did the icy cherries, why they came out with the white icy cherries? Does anybody know why? I'll tell you why. I'm not going to make you wait for that one. I'll tell you guys why. Because so many kids, the concession stand and the ices and everything were to attract little kids to the store. Because, I like ices, but, most it's for kids, right? It was because the red ices and the colored ices were staining too much of their clothes and causing too much damage. So they came out with the white ices because, as most people know, synthetic flavoring doesn't need dye or anything. So at least if they spilled the white cherry on anything, it didn't affect they could just wash the clothes and still use it, because the red dye would have ruined everything. So that's why they came out with the white cherry, so nothing else got ruined. So I thought it was an interesting story. That's my big news for the day on that. But yeah, I mean, this is just like Blockbuster. Remember Blockbuster, and they're gonna do this, and all of a sudden Netflix, and then remember the big one too, Redbox, which I still see some Redboxes around, but I mean, how well is Redbox doing today? From where it was. So definitely, like I said, Blockbuster is the perfect one. This company had it all. It was, and I watched a documentary on it. I think there's only one Blockbuster store left. It's not even an actual franchise. It just has the right to use the name, and it's in Alaska of all places. So, but. So Wolf says, be kind, rewind. But no, like I said, things come and go. So Jeffrey says KB or Toys R Us. But no, it's like so many of those companies. Remember Toys R Us? They were the king. They were, they had it all. Now Toys R Us and like FAO Schwartz or FA Schwartz, whatever. FAO Schwartz. Those were great companies, but see, they did some smart moves. They licensed their name. They still have value with their name. I think the whole thing with GameStop is, what do you license it to? What does GameStop symbolize? GameStop symbolizes a store to return your games and buy games and sell them back and buy used stuff. It doesn't symbolize like a product or a thing, where Toys R Us and some of these other people with the licensing deals make sense. And even if GameStop was a great licensing play, even if Best Buy said, let's license the GameStop name and call it, Best Buy, games, Best Buy video games by GameStop or something. I don't know. It still would make no sense, but because they already sell them and don't need GameStop. But how much is the value of that? What is somebody to pay GameStop to use their name? Even if they paid GameStop $100 million a year, this company is not worth $18 billion today. I don't even know what it's at today. What was the valuation on, now that it's dropped. So yeah, now that it's dropped, GameStop's valuation right here, $15 billion. This company loses money. So even if this company turned around and traded at a 50 multiple, to be worth $15 billion, it'd have to make $500 million a year? I don't know. It's insane. So, but I mean, who buys games now? They're all digital. It's insane. So, but Satoshi says Sears had a catalog and you could buy anything, even a house. Look at what Amazon is today. I guess they were ahead of their time. So many were, and that's why I say, like I always tell people, we had me and Kenny back in the day, we had email marketing, we had products, we had all these things. We were selling all this stuff. We were like Amazon back in the day. We were finding the next hot items and pumping them out there and selling them, and people loved them. We had vitamins, and we had health products, and we had lotions, and we actually had really good products. They worked really well and stuff. But things change. I was the king of ringtones. Like I said, how many ringtones do I sell today? 0. How many does anyone sell today? 0. If I was sitting around waiting for the ringtones and said, this is my future ringtones, I would be dead in the water. So it's like I said, things change, just like Airbnb, did hotel chains ever think they're going to have competition? I was even talking to some of my friends the other day, and I said, we were driving down the street, and I said, and I own brick and mortar restaurants and, and clubs and stuff. And I said, these restaurants, they have to, some of the rents are, astronomical, $5,000-$10,000 a month. You have property taxes, you have, upkeep on your building, and you have all these things. And you go down our street, and now there's 20 food trucks, every single, and I'm not going to lie, we have a food truck at Platinum 84 now, doing tacos and quesadillas, and on like Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights when we're real busy, and we have a kitchen inside, but I like having extra food. Food at my adult club isn't a big part of my business, but it's very interesting. But like I said, part of me is like, for my business there, I want to have the extra food. People like it, and it helps because it brings a lot of people down. And on Sundays, I have the guys, and they do hibachi on the patio, and they bring in sometimes 100 people on Sunday. So people come in, they buy a beer while they're waiting to get their hibachi to go, or they eat it there. So it helps me and brings in extra business. And I see Tracy D in the chat, so she knows how good the hibachi is that these guys make. So they're doing it on my patio every Sunday at Platinum 84. But the whole thing is, I'm driving down the street and I'm saying, here's a Mexican restaurant. Here's Taco Bell. Here's a Mexican standalone Mexican restaurant that sells burritos, that's paying rent and all this. And here's a guy with a little, pull-up truck that, maybe he has $5,000 into. He has a license. He pays sales tax. If he has employees working for him, he probably pays them, or does everything. Yeah, I'm saying, let's say it's 100% legal business. He's not just pocketing cash. I don't know. Most of them all take credit cards now, so they're probably legal. But if you're the guy who owns, I open up, I own a Taco Bell franchise, and you can open up and I spend $2 million to build my building, buy my land, do all this stuff, and I have this didn't exist 10 years ago. These food trucks really were nowhere, and all of a sudden now I have 15 competitors, in a 1 mile radius of my block. It makes it tough, and I don't know. I was saying, it's like, part of me as a business person, I mean, like I said, they're not doing anything wrong, but it's like it changes things. But what if all these restaurants started failing and everybody said, you know what, we can just have these taco trucks. They can undercut everyone because they have no dining room to pay for. They have no wait staff and all this other people and all these overhead and property tax. They, park them on corners, and, landlords people let them do it for free, or they give the guy free food, or they pay him $100 a day. So it's very interesting. And Wilson is just like in New York, the food trucks. Yeah. And I used to watch, now they're a chain all over the place, and they've done really well. Again, they have the pan, and it's like $10, $8 out the door, and they have lines, and it's the Holla guys, or the Holla. And these guys are just killing it. I think something they were doing like $30,000 or $40,000 a day from their food stamps. It's so busy, they opened up another one on the other side of the street there, the Holla guys. And it's a great product. It's cheap. I wouldn't go there with my date, if it's a first time date. But if we'd been dating for 3 or 4 times, I'd take her there if I could save money. But it's interesting, and it's very interesting to see how this stuff works and how it translates. But like I said, what about all these brick and mortar places that have huge overheads, have all these employees, have dishwashers, have, because where these food trucks come in, it's, guy, working the window and a guy cooking and pumping out food, and, and they're running $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 a day. So it's going to be very interesting. And like I said, things change. How do you change? How do you keep up with the changes? And, unfortunately, GameStop didn't keep up with it. GameStop did kind of jump on the cell phone trading wagon, but they don't own it, and they hedge it, and they sell all those phones off and stuff. So definitely different stuff there. In other news, while we've been talking, GameStop was down 10 points after the market closed, then came back, now back down. So I was just kind of dragging on talking because I was waiting for all our astronauts to show up. So, and hey, James is here. Are there any public traded companies you like that have outstanding marketing and analytics? For example, Caesars Casino, retargeting, newsletters, postcards, et cetera, like that. So I definitely see a lot of companies that have great analytics and remarketing and stuff. Casino business wise, I think casino stocks are going to go through the roof with it. So one thing about the casinos is, well, some of them lost business. A lot of them lost money. A lot of them didn't lose the kind of money that the cruise ships, lost the most, airlines and stuff. Hotels. So I think they have the opportunity to come back the fastest. And they've also, what is very interesting is so many businesses now have cut down on so much stuff, where restaurants used to be open 7 days a week in these casinos, and they had to have extra staff because obviously you can't make someone work 7 days a week. Now they're only open 5 days a week. So now they have one set staff, and they only have to work, and everybody works those 5 days a week. So there's a lot of stuff that's changing, and it's going to be very interesting to see how all that goes. But analytics marketing, I was actually watching that stuff on Amazon today, and the lady in the UK who wants to come after them. And this is very interesting. How many of you guys have been watching this with the UK and what they, with Amazon having all your data? So they're saying, and then I kind of thought about Costco, and she also talked about Apple and these different things. So you go to Costco, or you go to any of your grocery stores, Walmart, King Soopers, Fry's, whatever your local store is. But let's say Costco, because everybody knows Costco. So Costco has their own line of stuff called Kirkland. So if Costco is doing really well with something, magically it seems like there's a Kirkland product. So Costco stocks everything, but you have Reynolds, aluminum foil, and then you have Kirkland aluminum foil. If you've ever looked at a lot of the Kirkland labels, and this is actually pretty cool, if you've ever looked at a lot of the Kirkland labels, 90% of them are made by the same factories that make the name brand stuff, kind of like how generic drugs work and other generic products that are out there. So Kirkland just goes to these companies and says, you either make our product, this is what we want in our stores, or you're screwed. Well, it's the same thing now with Amazon. Said the same thing with the data, and Kirkland knows what sells, right? If you're Kirkland, you're Costco, and Kirkland's your brand, and I know I sell, 1,000,000 things of aluminum foil a year, or I buy Kirkland dog food, for example, from Costco. So they know that how many bags of dog food they sell, and they know that we can just make it ourselves. Either let the factory who makes the name brands do it for us, or we'll make our own factory, or have somebody make a factory, and we'll tell them what they're going to sell to us. We're gonna make our flat 7%, and they're gonna make their flat, whatever we tell them, so they can stay in business, and they're going to do a lot of business and keep growing their business. And as a percentage, they'll do even better over time, because you sell more product, you make more, and the margins stay the same, you make more money. So interesting enough, Amazon, and what the whole big thing there, and since James mentioned about analytics and data, they're saying is Amazon, you have all these people who come to your store. Amazon says, you know what, everyone's buying, and I had never actually really seen Amazon products that were Amazon products. Well, now that my Jolene got into working out and stuff, I got her some workout gear, and I was like, and this is the first time I really saw it, that Amazon had kettlebells and ankle weights and all this workout gear. And it was very interesting, because I never knew that Amazon was actually producing products under their label. I knew they had like Alexa and some of that stuff, but I never knew that they were actually making just all this regular stuff, like a Kirkland. But it's very interesting. So if Amazon sees something and they say, you know what, everyone's buying kettleballs, or kettleballs, where they call, and they go out, you know what, and we'll make them, and now we're going to feature them. So anyone who searches for a kettleball, you're just going to see ours now first, and it just destroys all the, imagine you've worked your whole life, you have the best kettleball company in the world, and now Amazon says, you know what, we'll just put our own on here. And they have all that data, and they know all this stuff of who's buying what, where, and how do you compete? So Lamb says, is Costco Kirkland a solid long-term hold, will continue growing for years? So yeah, Costco and those stores, and even Amazon, they're going to do great for years and years to come. I think Costco is going to slow down this year some. They're not going to have the pandemic buying that they had. Obviously, certain products are going to slow way down, but people are still going to go to Costco. I'm still going to go to Costco twice a month. I did go there a little bit more, like I said, or I may have bought extra products that I don't need to buy as much of now. But no, Costco is going to still continue to do very well. Like I said, I think they'll have a slowdown this year. Well, they may not have a slowdown, but they may not have the usual growth, or the growth they had in 2020, because obviously people are going to go back out to eat and do things. So they're not going to just, live off of Costco food or buying their, groceries there. But I think long term, they're, terrific company and stuff. So in other news, GameStop still down after hours. Where are my astronauts? Futures, not too bad. This is pretty much like a nothing move. 100 points up or down really in the market now is like nothing. So looking good there. But you know what, guys? That's what I got for you today. So I appreciate all of you guys joining us today for Raja Makes Money. Like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe and click that little gray bell. If you're watching me on Facebook, please make sure you follow me and click the like button and share. The more you share, the more I know you care. And we've been growing really nicely. I enjoy it. I enjoy getting more people in the chat, and like-minded people, and having talking about things in the marketplace and how it all turns out. I think this hedge we're making on GameStop's going to pay off, hopefully, really big, and you guys will all be proud of me. I want to make you guys proud of the Raja here, my trading skills and my strategies. We will know how it goes. Like I said, tomorrow, if GameStop's down 10 points, 20 points would be on the high side. Tomorrow, I don't need it down more than 20 points. But hopefully this market maker on the 100s will wake up, and we'll see some premiums come out from the volatility, and expiration time limits start coming out of these, which will help us, and we'll turn this puppy around big time. There's Matt in the house, living life to the fullest. Hashtag Raja Makes Money. Hopefully you're doing good in the market, Matt. Who says sharing is caring? But hey, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Big shout out to Kenny and the research team for so many winners today. Hope tomorrow you have even more than today. And all of my Patreon members, thank you so much. Any of you guys would love to have you in our Patreon group. Just go to patreon.com/Raja Makes Money. And also, guys, don't forget tomorrow's show 30 minutes earlier than usual, because unless we get this other storm again, Raja is live in the casino. And then I am on the road for shows. Thursday may be interesting because I think I may be flying during my show time. So I may have to do it earlier or figure something out or later. But yeah, Thursday and Friday, we are in Reno, Nevada at the Atlantis Casino for my other channel, The Big Jackpot. And same with tomorrow night. We're at the Monarch Casino in Blackhawk, Colorado for live slot play. So you can get a double dose of the Raja. But hey, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Take care, and everybody make a lot of money in the market tomorrow. And hey, if anybody sees my astronauts that I can't find today, let them know the Raja is looking for you.